Hey y'all, it's Chantel. Welcome to A Day With, where we talk to local business owners. Today I have the privilege of showing you the Reverend Porsha Williams Gates. She is the CEO and founder of Porshanality, which is a podcast production company. She is a preacher, she is a creative, so much more, but most importantly, she is one of my dearest, closest friends. So, in the honor of Portionality Media, listen to this as a podcast. Enjoy it, and I'll see you at the end.
Hi, Chantel. I'm Porsha Williams Gates, and I am, your friend from middle school, and we've known
Yes,
each other like hashtag all our lives.
yes.
And I am an ordained pastor, CEO, and founder of Porshanality Media, and so many other things. I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom, a daughter, and just a lover of life.
You're married.
I'm very married.
Married. Oh my God.
I know.
To a comedian.
I know. Who knew?
Not me.
I was like married to a comedian. Like, it's so interesting.
Yes. Talk about life. I'm thinking you're going to marry like a lawyer or someone in public speaking. Then when you said, oh, I'm married to a comedian, I was like, what? Well, that is public speaking.
Yeah.
And the laws of comedy is hard. So good for her. That's it.
Yeah.
So cool though. I'm happy for you both though.
Thank you.
And so how long y'all been married?
We are 1 year and 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
This many.
This
Yeah.
many.
It's so fun. Being married to a wonderful person who's just like an incredible human being who makes you laugh all the time.
Yeah.
And you don't mind rolling over and looking at him every day. And it's kind of like, oh, look, this person, you're here. I'm here. We're in this together. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But what's cool though is that y'all both are creatives.
Yeah.
So how is that being married to a creative person?
It's a lot of fun. Being married to a creative person in the sense that, your audience may not know, but like my dad is a creative and my sister's a creative. So I've always had like a creative family. And so being married to another creative is just like, they just blend right in. And so he is just so, it's like someone who understands you. And even though our schedules sometimes don't always sync, it's okay because we know that we're like busy. And he does a lot with me in Portionality Media in terms of like the business stuff that we do. And so we get to work together in that way. And then we work together on a show called God's Got Jokes, and that was good fun. And so we get to create together, but then it's also really fun to support what the other one is doing. So we always have something to do and something always to look forward to.
Oh, that's so great. I'm glad you found each other.
Too, on the street, girl. On the street.
On the street?
On the street. Okay, we met on the streets of New York. You never know how your spouse or your person or your human is coming. Ooh, sorry for the phone, girl.
That's okay.
But, listen, we live.
Hey, you looking busy. That's okay. That is all right. So, can you talk about your college education, because there's a litany of things that you have accomplished. Just give us the ones that stood out to you the most.
Yeah. So I went to Spelman undergrad, then I went to Yale for grad school, and then now I'm in a doctoral program at Pittsburgh Theological Seminary. So I got degrees up to woo-ha, right?
Wow.
And so it's cool, but I will say, like, I loved undergrad so much, like Spelman. I'm so glad I went to a HBCU because I needed that, child. Like, I needed that. Like, I needed another experience. I needed to, oh my gosh, like I think like it's October. I'm thinking about homecoming season. It sucks that we're in a pandemic, but I love homecoming. I was in the marching band in college. You remember I was in the marching band in high school.
You were busy.
So yeah, and I went into the marching band in college. So I really miss homecoming and like this time of year. Like, so homecoming was like a really big highlight of my college career. So I loved going to Spelman and all of the other wonderful things that came with it. But what? I would do that again.
Really?
I would do those 4 years again.
Woo.
But not the rest of my 20s, just them 4 years.
Oh man. But when I was going through your website, which you have a lovely website.
Thank you.
Oh,
I built it, girl. I built that.
It's easy to use.
Thank you.
It's colorful in all the right places. It's simple and it makes sense. So you did a good job.
Thank you. I worked really hard. I've been practicing website building since college, and I'm such a perfectionist. So hearing you say that makes me really happy because
it's beautiful. It's clean and it's to the point.
Thank you.
I was going through it. I was like, Dad, she won this award? Wait, she's in the National Preachers Association? What? Wait, what didn't she win? Oh, the Nobel Peace Prize yet, but that's coming. So first of all, how do you feel about getting all these accolades? Like, did you know or put that in the atmosphere that was going to come, or did it just come and you were like, I ain't asked for it, but thanks?
Yeah, Chantel, I'm gonna be real. I just be. That's it. All I know how to do is be, and God is good because I just listen and continue to do what God is asking me to do at every stage. And as things come, that's great. As things show up, that's great. But I don't do it for awards. I don't do it for accolades. I just do it because I'm just trying to be faithful to the call on my life. And however that shows up, I invite it in. I always say, God, whatever you have for me, I welcome it. But if nobody ever gives me another platform, if nobody ever gives me another award, that I'm still gonna do what I do. Because it's not about that, right? But it's so interesting because every time I hear like my bio read, if I go somewhere, I'm like, that's me. That sounds really fine. But me, I've looked at myself, I was like, I'm just so regular.
But Porsha, that's how you present yourself. You've always been like that though. So even with all the even though we're in our 30s, you're still that mid-teenager that's been my friend. So it's like it's cool to see you evolve into this. Even when we were in after school program and something would happen and you would just start talking, it's like, yeah, you're gonna hear Porsha today. That's it. You're gonna hear her. Whether you like it or not, she is speaking facts. But so you're a preacher. How, if you can share, how was it when you got the call to preach?
Ooh, Chantel, that was such an interesting time. So I got called when we were in high school. So you were at St. Joe's and I was at Central.
Yeah.
And girl, let me tell you, this was one of those seasons, and I never told you this, but I'm gonna tell you now, and it's coming back to me. This was one of those seasons where I missed you, and I missed people like you and your energy because you were always such an affirming person around me. And so it was it was a struggle, right? So even though I had some of our classmates from Winthrop, that were at Central Magnet, it was still hard, being called and being hearing the voice of God and trying to make sense of it, but yet still being 15 and all of the things that teenagers go through and navigating that. It was hard. And saying okay, I'm going to preach. And it's just people are like, what? You're going to do what? Why? And I didn't have a whole lot of friends that went to church. You went to church because you had a church going family, but I didn't have a lot of people around me in high school at Central who had that. So I felt really isolated for a time. And then the kids at my church were like, you're weird. You're you're weirdo. And it's just kind of like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. So, I had to take the plunge, but it was lonely. It was scary. But I'll tell you, every sacrifice has been worth it. It's up to this point. I wish I could tell my 15-year-old self that now. Girl, it's gonna be worth it. Just stay focused. It's gonna be worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I missed you in high school. It was really contradicting in high school because it's a Catholic school.
Yeah.
And I was the minority for the first time instead of the majority. So, I was like, wait, you could count us on both our hands and maybe a foot. That's how many we were there throughout freshmen to seniors. And to learn about different religions, especially the Catholic portion, it was hard because the way they teach it is this is it. But then when I go to church on Sunday, it was like, no, this is it. It's like, wait, no, but it's the same thing. So now that through your bio, you're a public theologian.
Theologian. Yeah, public theologian.
I said, wait, I had to look that up because I was like, what's that?
You are the second person within a week that I've talked to. And the second person in a week that said, Porsha, you and these SAT words in your bio. I need to go look these GRE words up, like hermeneutic, theologian. What are these words, Porsha?
I was like, Theo, hold up. Google, what is this? But you study religion beliefs.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Me being a preacher, here's the thing. We're all theologians, right? We are all theologians in our own way. Because to be a theologian just simply means that you have thoughts about God and how God relates to people. Really, like, and our grandmothers were theologians, right? Our mothers are theologians. Black women, I always believe, are theologians because we always have thoughts about the divine and we're always trying to make sense of it. We're trying to ask questions like, like how certain things happening to me and I've been nothing but faithful to you, God. Like, we're asking questions. And so being a theologian is just literally asking questions about God, asking questions about life, and just trying to make sense of what's happening and not being afraid to wrestle with those questions. And a public theologian just means I do it in the public square. I do it around other people. I have these and I'm looking at the public, right? I'm looking at things like the pandemic or the insurrection or white evangelical church and just trying to make sense of like, okay, well, God, you say this, your word says this, or I've experienced you like this, but I see this in the world. And how do we make sense of those things? So we all do theology.
What? Say one more time.
We all are theologians, girl.
Theologians. Woo! I said, that's a word. I was like, wait, what is she does a lot of stuff. Other wait. That's a heavy word. Let me move on to the next word. I know that word. Oh my gosh. But okay. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but I saw you, your mom and dad at Chili's in Shelton.
Yeah.
And you said that you were a preacher, but you preach at different churches. And I was like, oh, so you're a freelance preacher.
I love that.
You can keep it.
I love it.
Are you still a freelance preacher?
Yeah, girls, very much so. Because let me tell you something. I'm very freelancing now because I don't work at nobody's church. When I say nobody's church, like I'm no longer on staff on anyone's church. And I used to be on staff, like I was on staff, I was employed, all of that, right? But during the pandemic, your girl hit him with that,
Yeah.
And so, listen, life happens, right? And so during the pandemic, I made the choice and the decision to step away. And so it just all how it just kind of came together was very interesting. And that's really how I ended up starting Porshanality Media and taking the plunge into entrepreneurship because it's kind of like I went from being employed by the church to kind of being like the people's pastor. And so yeah, I still freelance preach. If people invite me to preach, I'll come.
You hear it here. She's willing. Just get with her. The rate's got to be right though. No, it's hard out here. Throw it out there, Porsha. She's a new age preacher.
I'm so screaming. This is hilarious.
Okay, so let's talk about Porshanality. First, the name is brilliant.
Thank you.
How did you come up with the name?
I wish I could say I'm the one who came up with it. Actually, one of my classmates in seminary who is a Jewish man, he sat next to me in class and he's like, Porsha, I just need to sit next to you and get just a daily dose of my Porshanality. You are just all things. And I was like, oh, that is a wonderful name. And another classmate said, Porsha, you just have all these Porshanalogies, like Porsha phrases. So he called them Porshanalogies. So between Porshanality and Porshanalogies, I was like, oh, that's a really good name. And so I made it my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle, and it kind of just stuck. And so when it came down to making Porshanality, it became a blog and then a podcast and then a company. And I just stuck with the name because everybody just identified with me with it. So instead of trying to do something new, just stick with what you know.
Yeah.
And girl, let me tell you, I'm so glad I did, because I ain't never been so happy to see Porshanality Media until I saw it in that Oprah Daily article. I was like, child, that's our
name. Listen, when you announced it on Instagram, I was like, wait, that's the Oprah O.
Yeah.
Wait, Hearst, that's the wait, they doing what? Let's jump right into that. How? No, for real. First of all, your sister is working with you. It's so good to hear her voice too. I miss her. I miss your whole family.
And they do too. They send their love.
Oh, tell them we said hi. We're hanging on. We're hanging on. Oprah.
Yeah.
And Porsha.
Yeah.
And Hearst.
Yeah.
And Lexus.
Yeah. Ain't it wild? Like, I'm still pinching myself. Like, for months, I knew that this was happening.
Yeah.
But until that last meeting, like that last day, but before it came out, like when we're like going through like the last logistics and scheduling the podcast, I was like, whoa, like this is really about to happen. Like this is really happening. And then Monday morning when I saw like the social media announcement, I was like, this is really happening. And so it's so wild. And I'm tell you no lie, they found me in the most ordinary way. They found me online. You know, and that's why I said you never know what can happen, how it can happen. What God has for people is what God has for people. You don't know how you're going to get discovered. You don't know how things are going to happen. We just got to be ready when they do. That, I mean, literally, it was just the most ordinary way.
Wow.
I just happened to be an independent Black owned, you know, podcast company, and they were looking to do a podcast, and we just happened to be that. And actually, it's just like, you know, we didn't apply for it. It just came. Wow. And it's just like, you just never know. I mean, it's really amazing. It's an amazing, like, wow, like this really happened. Yeah. And like I said, I'm just a regular girl from Bridgeport. Like, and knowing that these things can happen to people like us, or like these kinds of partnerships can happen like for people like us, or people that come from, you know, Bridgeport. It's like, wow, like this is so dope. It really is. So yeah, like I'm still in awe.
I'm so proud of y'all. When that happened, I was like, where's my Spotify? When on Spotify, I was like, nah, follow. No. That's not gonna get past me. But I thought it was so, first of all, it's cool because it's you. And then when I heard your sister, I said, that's Patrice.
Wow.
So I was like, you guys are working together.
It was so special. It was so special. And then my dad was also my production assistant too.
Okay, because I saw Patrick Williams. I was like, her dad?
Yeah. It was a family affair. It was so great. Like having us do something together was a lot of fun. And so when I told my sister, I was like, I have this project I want you to be a part of. So I'm already knee deep in it. But by the time that I got this script saying like, hey, we need a script and we need a voiceover, you know, can you record this? And I was like, I know someone. And so I had to be like, I had to tell my sisters like, hey, I have a project that I want you to be a part of, and I need you to do this. And I told her, you know, what it was for, and it was just like, wow. And I was like, you're going to be presenting Oprah, like. And so just like, yeah. And it's one of those things that's kind of like, the project is so much bigger than me, and it's so much bigger than Hearst and Lexus and Oprah did. Like, it's so much bigger for what it is, and the preservation of these stories of our Black heroes and legends and elders. I had to extend it out, because something so big like that, you just can't keep it to yourself.
Yeah. And the format of it is really cool too, because you have the new introducing the old. And sometimes it's like, you know, depending on who's who, they don't really vibe. But with this collection, it's just the sincerity of it. It's the wonder of it. And it's the fascinating, because it's like, how did y'all get here? But here we are trying to get to where you are. And we know we can't be like them, but if we can at least get like a little foot, like, okay, they did it this way, let me do it this way now. I think that is so important, especially now when you're trying to figure out, okay, we're still in the pandemic, but 2020 really showed us like, look, this can all go away really quick. Things can shut down, especially recently when Instagram and Facebook went down yesterday. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Then it's like all the people I'm following, one of them, she was like, it's a good day to start a website. How are you gonna contact your people? You want to do one now. You can't rely on these social networking
sites. I've been trying to tell folk for a minute. I was like, you better get on them newsletters, get on a newsletter, find people's websites, and because social media, we don't own anything that we post there, but we own everything on our website, right? We own our websites, and that's why I'm so big on ownership. Even at Porshanality, like, I'm big on our clients owning their product, right? We don't own it. We help them produce it, we help them create it, but we don't own it. And that's why I tell people, for your copyright, your publishing, all of that, put your name. I'll be your contact information if something goes wrong technically, but I believe in people owning their story, owning their works, owning everything that they produce, right? Own your intellectual property, right? Because once it leaves us, it's free to interpretation, but we don't want a third party having rights to anything that we created. Especially Black folk, we've been giving out enough stuff for free.
Hey, ooh, girl.
And enough people have made markets off of stuff that we've produced. Therefore, we owe it to ourselves to have our own websites and platforms. Read the terms of use. I tell people to read the terms. Read the terms. Read the terms. That little checkbox is a signature of consent to do something.
That's true.
I tell people, read the terms, baby. Read the terms.
But don't be scrolling.
Scroll, read. Read.
Okay. How did you get into podcasting, and why did you start podcasting?
That's a great question. So I started podcasting because one of my girlfriends from seminary, great girlfriend of mine, Jamie Crumley, she's actually about to be Reverend Doctor. So she's on her way to be doctor. She came to me with an idea. She was like, Porsha, I know you've been like bouncing the idea around of like a podcast, and I kind of like the idea of a podcast. And so I'm thinking like, maybe we could podcast together. And it was just kind of like, why not? And so we started Just Two Pearls podcast I'm trying to think, it was 5 or 6 years ago, but 5 or 6 years ago. And we started it right after seminary. Oh, I guess I've been out of seminary 6 years. So we started after we graduated from Yale. And so we were like, let's go for it. So we went in on a venture and decided to do the podcast. And ever since then, I've just been podcasting. And so I love it because as a little girl, I wanted to be on the radio. Like, I never really wanted to be like on TV. I didn't, I'm a little animated and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm good for television, but I always wanted to like do radio. So I wanted to talk, but I didn't want to be on camera because I didn't want to have to be cute. So
You're always cute.
Thank you.
You're always cute. Well, I was listening to your amplified one.
Oh yeah.
And the recent one, number 5. When you say radio, that's exactly the vibe I got. But wait, okay. Please, these sections of this podcast.
Yeah.
You got the channel message, which is like the question of the day, which you got me. I was in the bathroom. I was like, what do you want to do? My mom was like, what you gonna do now, Reed? Then I hear you say it. It's like, oh my God. Okay. All right. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna think about it. I have to. I said, geez, right. You got me right there. Then you have the amplifier where you showcase awareness, which I really love. That section's dope. But my favorite one is tell the president that I said, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If this don't remind me of us in school when you had to tell somebody off and all they had to do was walk away. I'm like, she really going off on the president like that? But you say it in a way where it's like, look, I voted for you, bro. what you gotta give me something here. So how did you come up with those sections? Like, and first, y'all, if y'all haven't listened to it, I'm link everything down below. It is like if you're in the shower and you need something to listen to this one. You also said this was your flagship.
Yeah. So this is the flagship podcast of what we do at Porshanality Media in general, right? And so the channel message, it's a vibe. It's every week. So, not every week because it's every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
We release every 2 weeks, and it happens to be around the moon schedule, so like full moon and new moon time. And a lot of us are practitioners, right? We're like holistic practitioners, and we we use astrology and stuff like that in our business practices. And so part of the channel message is me channeling a message either from our ancestors or what's happening in the stars, or I might pull a card and what kinds of things, or sometimes I just get a straight channel. It's just me and God talk, like listening from God, which is why I had the questions, right? For people to ponder. And so that segment is true to the fact that we believe in doing business a little differently, one that centers us spiritually. And then the amplifier is us talking about news, right? Us sharing news in the community, but also to highlight the good works, right? Because we believe in so it's about spirituality, but centering humanity and not needing to compromise either one. And so that's why the amplifier is, how do we see ourselves as human beings? And then tell the president I said, a part of like the prophetic tradition is being able to call a thing. And I don't necessarily believe in cancel culture, but I believe in accountability culture, that we need to hold people and leaders accountable to humanity, right? To taking care of the people. You are an elected official. You need to take care of the people. That's your job.
Yeah.
And so that's how I came up with the segments. And then I found like really fun music to go along with it.
The music is dope.
Thank you. I was so excited to do that. It's my favorite part.
Oh my goodness, because I was reading the credits and I was like, I need to know who that, after the president anthem or whatever, that the other beat. I was like, what is this? Then when I saw Epidemic Sound, I was like, oh, that's the GOAT right there.
That's it. Epidemic Sound, like we got so we have like a license with them. And so like that's how we source our music. Now I do also make custom music too.
Oh, you do? We'll get into the services. So
this is one of the shows that, you know, when you're doing everything else, it's one of those things like, listen, I don't have time to bust out some tracks. But all of my other previous shows that I did for me, I custom made that music. But this is one of those things, it's like, because I wanted to have a lot of music, I needed to move a little differently.
Ooh. Okay, let's get into the services.
Okay.
All right. So what do you offer?
Okay, so we offer podcasting services. So if you want to have a podcast that is edited, produced, audio mixed, all of that distributed, we are your go-to people. We are a wonderful team. We also do audiograms for your social media. We do sound design meetings if you're trying to make a sound experience for your show. We will go through different choices with you and things like that as a music source. And like I said, we also do customized music as well.
Yeah.
And we also, you know, offer like coaching services for people who want to get into podcasting, people who want to host, people who want to produce. And so we offer those educational services as well, because we don't want to just teach you how to podcast. Well, we want you to podcast, but we also want to teach you how to do what we do as well. So all of that.
I was going down the services. I said, oh, they got everything down here. I said, oh, everything. But that's so great though, because people need to know if they want to do it, they can do it. And by you offering this, especially to the Black community and people of color, that this is excellent, because a lot of places aren't offering what you guys are offering.
Thank you.
So I'm so happy for y'all and your team. I saw them on the little website. I was like, oh, it's so small.
Yeah, we're a tiny team of 4.
Yeah.
We're a small team. And then also like we have like some contracted folks. So, like my sister's contracted with us. But in terms of like our part-time, like, you know, everyday staff, it's the 4 of us. And so yeah, we make it happen as a team.
I'm just so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because you're still the same, but you're just evolving.
Oh, thank you.
It's nice to see you, you know, doing things that are truly helping people, but you're also happy.
Thank you.
So I'm just so proud of you. But I got one more question to ask you.
Yeah.
What is a Reiki healer?
Oh, Reiki. Yeah.
Reiki. Okay. Again,
Yeah.
my SAT. I said, wait, what is that? I gotta look it up. And it's energy healing.
Yeah, so Reiki is energy healing. So, Reiki is a ancient form of energy healing that is both that is actually originate for in both Japan and in Africa. So there's African traditions that practice Reiki as in Japan. And I'm of Asui lineage, so that's out of Japan. And so yeah, it's energy healing. It's us literally taking good energy and pressing it into another individual, so we can do it distance wise, we can be with you, and so so basically it's like laying of hands if you think about it in church terms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. I love that.
How long did that take for you to are you a master of it, or are you?
So I'm level 2, so I'm right underneath the master. I don't know if I'll become a Reiki master, because masters basically are people who teach and train and certify other people. And I don't know, maybe in another iteration, maybe down the line. But right now, just practicing as a practitioner. And Mount Airy, my home church, they've had Reiki healers for as long as I could remember. So yeah, Mount Airy has Reiki healers, and so I grew up in it, right? And so when it came time for me to get I got my level 2 certification last year. So I was level 1 and then I got certified as level 2. So your girl is all the way up now.
I see. Wow. And you also do tarot reading.
Tarot and Oracle as well.
Wow. Now, how is that different from Miss Cleo?
Oh my goodness. Here's a really good short sweet version of how to say it. So I don't tell you I don't predict the future. Okay. I give you guidance for where you are right now and guide you into what could be a best option. At the end of the day, you are the only one who can make a choice and a decision. I can give you some options or some ideas of what the path can look like and the tools to undergird that process, but really it's to help the internal, right? Not to help manifest some big, super life, but helping you in the interior journey of just becoming a whole individual and so that you can show up better in the world. That's all I'm helping people do. Show up in the world as their full selves.
Okay. Because when I saw it, I was like, tarot card, I was like, no, I was like, she better than Miss Cleo.
No, I'm not gonna predict your future.
Okay.
No.
No, call me now.
No, don't. Cause I'll be like, Porsha, should I do this? I'm like, I don't know. Should you? What does your body tell you? Ooh. Intuitively, you already know the answer before you ever call me. And here's the thing: tarot is just a tool. It's not the end all be all, right? Tools of divination is one thing, but honestly, there's no greater source than you and your higher self and your connection with God.
Wow.
You know the answer a lot of times. And I tell people, I said, the cards, I don't got to look at cards to be able to tell. I said, because, we all have different gifts that we can tap into, different clair abilities, but it's to help you align with yourself. And eventually you become the tool. That's the thing. You become the tool.
Ugh, you just speak to me today. What is going on? No, I know what's going on. It's something that I needed to hear. So what else are you working on?
Oh God.
That you can share.
Oh.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, just podcasts. Podcasts, and we've got a couple of things coming up for the new year, and I'm excited about that. But yeah, just working on podcasts, and me as a person, just working on myself, getting this doctorate degree, being a student, and just being faithful to all the things God has in front of me. Wow. And that's really it.
That's it. And that's that on that. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm so proud of you.
For having me.
Tell the fam I said hi. I missed him. Tell Mr. Gates I said what's up.
I will. And thank you for having me. I am proud of you. And so it is my honor to be here with you and to kiki and to laugh. And I'm proud of you. And so you keep going, Nairi.
Demeter Joe, don't do that.
And that was Porsha Williams Gates for this episode of A Day With. Ain't she dope, y'all? You guys, everything about her will be in the description box below. Make sure you give her a follow, listen to her podcast. And as for me, you can check me out on Instagram. If you like, please give it a like. And if you want to see more vlogs, reviews, and some entertainment too, consider subscribing. All right, y'all. I'll see you later. Bye.